Supplements are often one of the most controversial topics in the fitness space. And me being somebody who has his fair share of reservations on different types of supplements, I am very precautionary towards the supplements I choose to invest my money and health in. Saying that though, there are a few supplements that I highly recommend everybody trying. One of them being very well researched and documented recently, and that is creatine. Now honestly, this has been getting a massive surge and a lot of traction recently online. And so far, the more research that has been conducted on creatine, the more positive evidence has been put forward towards the supplement. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about everything related to creatine. What it actually is, benefits, possible side effects, how, when, and how much you should be taking, and my conclusive thoughts on the supplement itself. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot, guys. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you have to, because there's a lot of information to digest. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So firstly, we have to understand what exactly creatine is. Creatine is an ergogenic, non-nitrogenous protein made up of 3 amino acids: glycine, L-arginine, and methionine. Now 90 to 95% of creatine in your body is found in your muscles, and the rest of it is found in your brain. And the primary use of creatine is to facilitate the recycling of ATP, which is the major energy source of your body. And it does this by converting ADP to ATP. Now since most of your creatine is stored intramuscularly, something called phosphocreatine or creatine phosphate was found to be a key element in muscle metabolism and contraction. Now it's important to note that your body does produce its own creatine in the kidneys and the liver up to about 1 gram a day, and can be found in lean meats like red meat and fish. However, the daily recommended dose of creatine usually is around the 5 gram range, and in order to get 5 grams of creatine through fish and red meat, you would have to have upwards of 2.5 to 3 pounds a day, which honestly isn't reasonably sustainable. This is why we choose to supplement creatine. Now I'm sure you guys have seen the different types of creatine out there, but there are 2 major types of creatine. One being creatine monohydrate and the other being creatine HCl. Now the only difference between the two is the presence of an additional water molecule in creatine monohydrate. So which one is better? Well, it kind of depends on your goals and preferences. HCl will give you the same effects as monohydrate but eliminate the additional weight gain through water retention, which is what many prefer, honestly. However, if you're somebody who wants a fuller look and more weight on you through additional intramuscular water, go for the monohydrate. It's also worth noting that monohydrate is a lot more researched and well documented over HCl because HCl is a newer compound. One of the biggest reasons why creatine has become so popular recently is because of its variety of benefits. I do want to preface this by saying though that if you are consuming creatine, or if you're thinking about consuming creatine, don't look at it as a magic pill. It can definitely help you like many other supplements, but like I said, it is a supplement. If you aren't taking care of your body through good recovery, good quality nutrition, and high intensity training, no supplement is really gonna work for you. But anyways, let's get into the benefits of creatine. The first and arguably the most important and well researched of them all is creatine's ability to improve your actual performance. And also, as previously mentioned, supplementing creatine allows for rapid resynthesis of ATP stores in the muscle, particularly during higher intensity tasks like sprints, plyometrics, or an intense weightlifting session. The second potential benefit of creatine is an increase in muscle size. Now there are 2 sides to the equation here: a short-term direct size increase and a longer-term indirect size increase. To explain this, I'm going to give you guys a very simple example. The short-term size increase points towards the more immediate effect that creatine may have on muscle size. This is because of creatine's ability to hold water within your muscle, giving you a more fuller look. That is why, especially with creatine monohydrate, people tend to gain a decent amount of weight pretty fast, is because it's not necessarily fat and it's not necessarily muscle, it's intramuscular water. The longer term size benefit comes from the cumulative effect of taking creatine in required dosages, which will allow you to lift more weight over time. Like I said, let's take a simple example of what I mean over here. Let's say without creatine supplementation, you're able to add 1 rep every single week to a 135 pound bench press. On week 1, let's say you start off doing 135 pounds for 3 reps. And in order to up the weight, you want to get to 8 reps which then once you get to 8 reps, you will up the weight by 10 pounds. This means you will be able to up the weight on your bench press by 10 pounds in 5 weeks. Now let's say you add 5 grams of creatine a day. According to research, most untrained to somewhat trained and experienced lifters can see an increase in strength output from 18% all the way up to 43%. Now for the sake of the example and to be conservative, let's say instead of 1 rep a week, you can add 2 reps a week to that 135 pound bench press. That would mean you'd only need 2.5 weeks to up the weight by 10 pounds. So through simple math, over the course of 15 weeks, instead of being able to up the weight by 30 pounds, you'd now be able to up the weight by 60 pounds. Again, that's a very simple example, but it just points to the fact that creatine might help you get a little bit of an edge, and that little edge over the course of several weeks may allow you to actually add a lot more weight. And as we all know, a stronger muscle usually ends up being a bigger muscle. The third potential benefit is actually cognitive benefits. Now, according to research, oral administration of creatine may improve short-term memory and intelligence or reasoning amongst healthy aging individuals, particularly amongst stressed out aging individuals. Now, this is a relatively newer area of research which requires a lot more research, so I wouldn't fully rely on it, but it's definitely worth noting and definitely worth looking into. Remember, 5 to 10% of your body's creatine is actually stored in your brain. Now, for some reason, creatine has always been attributed to weird side effects like hair loss and digestive concerns, but there isn't any research at all that points towards those findings. In fact, countless research has shown that taking up to 10 grams of creatine for more than 5 years has been shown to have 0 side effects for individuals. Hair loss is majorly, if not entirely, genetic, and digestive concerns come from people who take obscene amounts of creatine, which is usually more than 20 grams a day, as would happen with almost any type of compound or nutrient. So is it safe for older adults? Absolutely. Is it safe for pregnant women? Absolutely. Is it safe for growing adolescents? Absolutely. So we've established the various benefits, the lack of side effects, and what creatine actually is. Okay, Anj, great information. Now I really want to buy a tub of creatine, but I'm still unsure of how to use it, how much I should use a day, and when to use it. That's what we're going to talk about right now. For when you should use it, as it stands, adapting creatine timing specifically according to when timing is performed is not really currently supported by solid evidence and should not be considered a real concern for now at least. So basically, when you take it doesn't really matter nearly as much as actually taking it. However, in my personal experience, I prefer to take it 30 to 45 minutes before my workout with a source of caffeine and quick acting carbs to get the most out of my workout. In terms of how you should take it, creatine comes in powdered or capsulated forms. And again, the form doesn't really matter that much. As long as you're taking pure creatine HCl or monohydrate, that's all that matters. If you are like myself who likes mixing it with a cup of water before I go work out, then just stick to that. But if you are somebody who just prefers to swallow it through a capsule, then just do that. Whatever you find the easiest to stick to, just stick to that. How much you should have is pretty simple too. Now, I know a lot of you guys have heard of the loading phase of creatine, but that is far less important as, like I mentioned earlier, just taking it. Now, essentially, the loading phase basically means you take an increased dosage of creatine for the first 5 to 7 days typically of introducing or reintroducing creatine after an extended period of time, usually doubling the regular serving, which is about 8 to 10 grams a day. As long as you're getting the required dosage every single day, which is usually 3 to 5 grams, staying consistent with that, that is what's most important. However, if you do want to go through with the loading phase, I would recommend doubling the dosage, which means 8 to 10 grams a day, either taken all together at once, evenly distributed throughout the day across 2 servings. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm really not the biggest fan of the supplementation industry because of the variety of unnecessary compounds in every single supplement and the way it's marketed and how it's made to seem that people really need that. Me personally, I'm very specific and precautionary with the supplements I choose to invest my time and money in. But saying that though, creatine is one of the only supplements I regularly invest my time and money in, and I highly encourage everybody to invest their money and health in too. And it's not just precautionary towards the supplements, it's also because I don't necessarily feel the need to have too many. I do take care of my body really well, I train really hard, I sleep really well, and I eat a very nutritious diet, which allows me to recover and perform at my best every single day. And that is the approach I recommend everybody take as well, because a supplement is supposed to add to your daily habits, not take over your daily habits. But do I recommend creatine? Absolutely. Not just because of its well-researched and well-documented history, but also because of its safety, its cost, its convenience, and also because I've been using it for a long period of time and I've seen the benefits from it, which is why I recommend everybody else to take it, because I wouldn't recommend anything that I haven't tried myself. I have a client who's 16 years old and who takes it on a regular basis. I also have a few clients that are older than 50 years old and who take it on a regular basis. Both sets, zero problem. Is it safe? Yes. Is it cheap? Yes. Does it actually benefit you? Yes. So should you take it? Yes. But anyways, guys, I really do hope you took something away from this video. I hope you are now more well informed about creatine, and I hope you now can take an informed decision towards whether you want to buy it or not. Again, I'm not endorsed by any brand. This is just my honest review and my honest thoughts of the actual supplement. So if you did enjoy the video, if you did take something away, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you took some notes with you, and also don't forget to click that bell notification down below. And if you want more information on similar supplements or any other topic in the fitness space, or if you want real genuine advice from somebody who's not on copious amounts of drugs, click the link down below in the description. I'll be putting a link to a free one-on-one consultation call with me, and that is where I'll be able to dive in to any questions you may have and different resources that I would recommend for you that will also allow you to gain access to my private one-on-one coaching that itself has very few limited slots. But anyways, guys, I won't take up too much of your time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next.